Hello, we're not live, chat's offline because this is a pre-recorded video, and you can probably tell this is from the title and the thumbnail, I don't need to say. You know, there's a couple things I think I'd like to talk about before I get into this, but I gotta keep it concise because, I mean, I've done several takes already, because, I mean, I've just got this huge nervous energy just looking at this, my nervous energy, I just can't emphasize enough, okay, because, you know, to put it concisely, the FNAF movie and the FNAF movie trailer have been an idea for years and years and years and years. If you've been in this fandom, you'll know about the fake, you know, posters, the movie trailer hoaxes, the fan movies based on this idea of Five Nights at Freddy's in the format of a movie. Since 2015, you know, there's been announcements, there's been rumors that go back years and years because this movie's production has gone very slowly and taken a long time for Scott Cawthon to put together, you know, by himself, you know, with the right, you know, production, you know, Blumhouse rather than Warner Brothers, you know, getting the script right. I mean, you guys might remember in 2019, I think, or 2020, 2021, I don't remember when it was, but Scott posted down on Reddit something about the script and finally settling on the Mike script after all those discarded drafts, some of which were terrible. And, you know, that's another thing. Expectations are important. I think all of these years and years and years of FNAF movie discussion and speculation have probably given people preconceived notions to some extent, even myself, subconsciously. And I really want to try and view this, you know, with no expectations, because aside from what is on screen here, aside from, yeah, the casting announcements, the script thing, other announcements like, oh, the, you know, the Freddy chair at Blumhouse, like, I know nothing about this movie. I am going in blind, and I want to just kind of, you know, treat it with the respect it deserves and just really see. Because, I mean, on the one hand, right, I mean, Scott and co have taken so much time with this. It's looking phenomenal, but also, I don't want to have too high expectations. Because I don't know about the rest of the fandom, but, like, you know, high expectations might just ruin the experience, because there's no way this is going to be exactly what everyone wants or thinks it's going to be based on all these years of speculation. I mean, no offense, but look at the poster. Like, the graphic design's great, but that just, my brain hasn't processed that this is a real, official, tangible thing happening in cinemas, because it just looks like something that someone made in SFM in a couple hours, in a day. Like, so many other, like, I've seen hoax trailer thumbnails that look pretty much the same. Like, I can't even believe those are real animatronics. Those look like modeled in SFM with the red eyes and everything. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. I just think that's funny, because so few, if any, other fan bases or fandoms have such a concentration of artistic talent and kind of attentiveness. The Five Nights at Freddy's one does. And it's enough to drive you crazy, but it's also impressive to think that, man, the standards of free, you know, non-profit, unfunded fan projects paid out of pocket, you know, just for fun, you know, have been produced so highly over the years, because there's just been so much of it that it's like, it's comparable even to the official announcement. It's just bizarre to me. Also, Universal Pictures? Is this being, like, published by Universal? Like, I don't know how Universal's involved. That's interesting. But anyway, oh my gosh. Give me a minute. I'm gonna stop rambling, we'll get on with this, but I just think, like, you know, for myself to look back, to have this, you know, preserved, to have my first reactions really put there, I don't know, I think that's important to me. And I want to share it with you guys. Kind of like those FNAF news videos I used to do. I had the playlist open a minute ago. Yeah, this. I don't really do these anymore. They kind of fizzled out. It just wasn't my thing. It wasn't really... I mean, this happened, and, you know, there's a lot of cool FNAF stuff going on, but I don't need to cover the news. There's plenty of news sources better than me doing it. This was a fun avenue to explore, but it's not something I really do anymore, so if they're not already, all these videos are going to be unlisted, but the playlist is going to stay public, and I'm going to add this video onto it. Same way I did with the FNAF Plus teasers. Like, this is just going to be my first reactions. It's only 48 seconds. I've built this up for, like, 5 minutes, but it's just 48 seconds. Let's get on with this. Guys, it's time. I don't know, like, there's going to be plenty to talk about after this, I'm sure. Predictions, discussion, analysis, and I might do further streams on this, but for now, I'm just going to watch it, we're going to talk about it a bit, and we're just going to see what's what. Oh my god, okay, hold on. YouTube has this annoying thing where it starts videos off by automatically playing them, so let me just mute and make sure everything's set. This, I don't know, this is surreal to me. Like, this feels like, I don't know, I've said enough. I'm gonna shut up, I'm not gonna speak a word over the trailer. We're gonna do this, alright? Here we go.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. Hit it, guys. If you're watching this video, it means you've been selected as Freddy's newest security guard.
Hello?
We're going to have so much fun together.
Okay. Alright. Look, I know what I said about, you know, be cautiously optimistic, but that's pretty hype. I really hope this movie is good. I really hope this movie is good. Oh my gosh. Alright. Well then. Let's go back through this, like, well, not frame by frame, but bit by bit. It's time to clock in. Watch the official FNAF trailer now. And again, theaters and streaming on Peacock, don't know what that is, October 27th. So, let's just have another look at this. So, it begins with this kind of, like, training video type thing, which is really interesting. And they've got some employee here with all these badges. I don't know what that's about. I can't read her name.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's
This one says, welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. You can see, you know, it's the Freddy's Pizza in the background. People are sitting at tables, eating pizza. There's balloons, there's lights. It's a prize corner, I think, somewhere over there. It's interesting. Also, I haven't really figured out the map layout, but this clearly is FNAF 1. Like, it's based on FNAF 1. The arcades, there's a ball pit, of course, the you know, obligatory ball pit. There's a Showtime button, which might be a reference to Help Wanted. I'm not really sure. I think that's pretty interesting that they actually have a button for Showtime.
Hit it, guys.
And then we have this, the reveal. I've been really interested to see what the animatronics would look like in the movie, because, like, they were not going to be fully CGI'd. They were going to be physically, truly built as actual costumes. And I've been thinking, you know, I've been speculating, like, well, every time the FNAF characters appear in a new game, usually they get remodeled, right? Look at the Wizards in FNAF 2. Think of how artists have drawn, you know, in the Fazbear Frights graphic novels, or the novel trilogy graphic novels. Like, you know, I was thinking they're probably going to look quite different, and they're going to be kind of like a unique kind of variation. Kind of like, again, with FNAF Plus, how a lot of the details of their appearances were changed. But it looks like they actually tried to make the FNAF 1, like, actual character models in real life. And I've got to say, I'm really impressed with how accurate these are. Because I wouldn't have thought it would even have been possible, to be really honest. I mean, look at these character models. They're, like, not the exact same, but very, very close. And, like, look at that. Even Freddy's, like, eyelids are moving and everything. And it's like they got the head shape and the jaw and the teeth and everything. And Chica's face. You can see Bonnie on the left there. Like, I don't know. I'm impressed with the production stuff more than anything. Because, I mean, just look at this. How did they do that? How did they even make these so real? Because, I mean, Scott's great at modeling, but, like, the FNAF 1 characters are not very realistic compared to a lot of typical mascots of the era. From what I've seen, at least. I don't know, but I think that's really interesting, and I'm really glad that they actually went for a really authentic look, because that's going to bring back, like, the game nostalgia, I think. I bet you there are people out there who kind of dipped out of FNAF long, long ago. Like, you know those people who dipped out, like, between FNAF 1 and FNAF 3, who aren't really even members of the fandom, but who were, like, into it as kids? I really wonder if any of them are going to come and see this and think, oh my god, I'm back in 2014, 2015, and they're just completely blind to everything that's happened since. That would be really cool. I feel really happy for those people, because I'm sure that'll be quite an experience. But then we've got, like, a cutaway, and now it's just kind of, like, real life. And this looks like something out of Stranger Things. Like, this just, you know, very kind of much more gritty, you know, suburban, you know, kind of, dark premise. What we've got here is Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. It's closed, and it's not just closed, it's decrepit, it's derelict. This is like Freddy Fazbear's Pizza you know, in the Silver Eyes. This is like, you know, I mean, the place is slightly out of town, it would seem. It's kind of on its own. It's got this big car park. There's a building off to the left that might just be part of Freddy's. And there's lights in the distance, but, like, it's a little bit out of town. So it's a little bit isolated. And it's very run down. The close sign's been knocked down. You can see it's like a Freddy cutout. I'm not sure what the bars are for. Maybe something was on there at some point.
In this video.
And then behind the car park, you can't see it. I think we get a close look at it in the trailer, but they've got a really interesting building. It's a very unique shape. A lot of, you know, over the years, when people have tried to envision what Freddy Fazbear's Pizza would look like from the outside, it's usually just been like a box with a logo on it. This is, I like how it's got all these different windows and patterns and arches, and it's like a very artistic, interesting looking building with that iconic, you know, checker pattern, even on the outside. It looks really cool. And we've seen what the sign looks like already. What's really interesting here is the audio, which I will talk about in just a bit. Next up, we have this. I believe this is Michael. This is Mike Afton, Mike Schmidt. Actually, is he Mike Afton? Or, again, because this is like a whole other interpretation of FNAF, right? So it's not related to the lore or the canon of the games or the books or the other games or the other books or anything like that. It's just its own standalone thing. So Scott might have rewritten it so that this is Mike Schmidt. He's not an Afton. There is no Afton family. I can't see them changing William Afton's name. I think that would be a little bizarre. Or maybe keep him unnamed, be interesting. But, like, well, I'm really hoping they don't go the Afton family route for the movies, because that would suck. That would be really bad. But yeah, I mean, he's come out of some kind of reception corridor there into the main dining hall. I don't really know these actors, but they're not complete. They're sort of unknown, but they're like I swear I've seen him in something before, and I don't remember where. But he's good, I think. And yeah, you can see like there's like mosaics of Bonnie and Chica there. There's a prize counter. So the exit is a door there. There's a prize counter. There's some other corridor down there. Again, I said it was FNAF 1, but the layout might be completely different. He's looking behind the curtain here with his flashlight. There's Bonnie. Red eyes, which is interesting. He didn't have red eyes in FNAF 1. They were like a kind of magenta color, I think. But yeah, there's Bonnie. And again, like, it looks so... I can't tell if that's like plastic or like fur or like what kind of material these guys are made out of. It's very unique. It's kind of maybe a bit more like the Help Wanted models of the FNAF 1 cast rather than the original FNAF 1, which is probably good for a movie. I'm really curious how they did that. And then we've got an iconic view here. He's got kind of like a Leon Kennedy kind of vibe, hasn't he? You know, flashlight in one hand. Young, brave, novice adventurer. You see Freddy and Chica there. Again, behind the curtains. It's interesting. FNAF 1, the main stage didn't have curtains. It's a lot more realistic. And I like how you can actually see some of the endoskeleton and the wires under there. There's Carl the Cupcake. He's flipping some kind of switch here to power everything on. And there's a closer-up view of the sign. Again, this place is closed. And it's not just closed. It looks like it's been abandoned for a long time. I mean, for all of that to have, like, grown on it, it's got to have been, like, a few years at least. So this is probably, like, you know, late 1990s. If I had to say a time frame for this movie, absolutely late 1990s. The kind of period when Chuck E. Cheese was fizzling out and that kind of animatronic nostalgia was kind of like a dying, you know, trend. But yeah, you've got the logo here with this unique text font we've never seen before. And this little, like, image of Freddy. Again, he's got white gloves, which is a really interesting design choice since the animatronic doesn't. And I know they're trying to emulate that, classic 40s cartoon style that kind of it manifested all the way up until the present day. The kind of white gloves and characters is still a thing in certain comic books, I believe, but it started with like the 1940s. I don't well, actually no, I might go even back further, maybe 30s or 20s, 20th century, because there's 70s stuff, but like a lot of the small details of the art style change. I know this from like Bending the Machine videos, but don't worry about that. Man, I need a drink. Hold on. Oh dear. Worry not about the lack of hydration, we're just going to keep on going here. So now we've got the security office. Looks very cool. I like how, again, it's not like a faithful one-to-one recreation. They've really done something interesting and more realistic with the layout so that it doesn't look weird in live action. You still got the Celebrate poster, which is iconic. Still got the desk fan. But the way the cameras are laid out, the little control pad now, that's real nice. The lamp. And also, we can actually see loads of different areas here. It looks like there's some cameras of the outside, which is really interesting. I wonder if there's any possibility animatronics will wander outside. But also there's like on the bottom left here, where's my mouse? You can see my mouse, right? This looks like the dining hall here, with like the tables laid out. I'm not sure, this might be a different angle of the main hall, I'm not really sure what that is. This is really unclear, it's a small room of some kind, maybe it's like a parts and service or a corridor. This is some kind of corridor that's probably going to like bathrooms or like the kitchen or something. That's the main stage, and that is the closet that Bonnie goes into in FNAF 1. That's the original closet that's just outside the office. I wonder if we're going to have any references or like, you know, callbacks to the games with like animatronics in the same pose maybe on the cameras. That'd be really neat. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of that. Again, here you've got the main three behind the curtains on the main stage. Again, like the way these guys are modeled and the kind of the callback to the game with the same... Oh my god, it's just amazing. This is really cool. Here's Mike. He's just kind of looking a little bit worried. A little spooked, as you do in Freddy's. And... right behind him on the left is Freddy freaking Fazbear. He's right there. And it's interesting, his eyes are blue. So the eye colors are correct, but their eyes turn red, maybe. I find it interesting that same blue light is on the side of his face. Not sure what he's looking at, but yeah. But, I mean, that's a really... I love the way they've lit this. It's so creative. But it's like Freddy's, like, right behind him. But the fact that he doesn't look aggressive in any way, and he doesn't look kind of, hostile. He just looks like he's just there, just smiling, just, like, doing his thing. I wonder if this is going to be one of those, like, bait and switch scenes where it looks like he's about to get, like, jump scared, and then Freddy's just, like, in his, like, friendly kind of, like, programming because it's, like, not hit 12 AM or something like that. Or, again, maybe that's part of the facade. Again, I'm really hoping they truly play into the uncanniness of the animatronics that, you know, was only ever really in FNAF 1. And maybe FNAF 2 with, like, just kind of, like, how, like, eerie and just slightly off they looked with, like, their faces and their animation. And it's the very thing that was expressed a lot by Charlie in the novel trilogy in Silver Eyes, but just wasn't really communicated effectively, of that kind of fear of something that is moving and looks like it's alive, but isn't, like a reanimated corpse. Like it looks like it's moving, but it's like it's being forced. It's like someone just put a corpse onto, like, you know, some puppet strings and is just toying it about. It would be so cool if we really got that kind of, you know, eerie vibe from the way they're animated in this movie. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do that. But then it cuts back to this, and I should probably talk about, while all of this is playing...
If you're watching this video...
Where's my audio gone? Hello? My audio's bugged out, hold on. Okay.
If you're watching this video, it means you've been selected as Freddy's newest security guard.
So that video at the beginning is a training tape for security guards, which, you know, is the premise of FNAF 1.
Hello?
That's Mike, I think. It's gotta be, right? Who else?
We're going to have so much fun together.
Again, I'm trying to make out... Some of these badges are just like brand things. It says Let's Eat, that's Chica's thing. That's Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, Bonnie. That's Carl the Cupcake. Is it Carl even an official name? I can't remember if that's an official or a fan-made name. But then it gets interesting. There's a lot of other things going on. So, this happens. Mike's being strapped into some kind of chair. Not really sure what this is exactly. And then there's this. And I don't know what we're looking at here. This is really strange. The spinning blades in the face reminds me of a scene I wish I could forget from the novel trilogy. Because in, I believe it's Fourth Closet, there's a scene where Carlton is being seduced by Circus Baby, who is, for reasons I'm not going to get into now, basically disguised as Charlie, as like a ordinary 18-year-old, I think, human. Like, she takes this, like, it's illusion disc tomfuckery, basically. But she basically is leaning in to give Carlton a kiss, and then her faceplates open up, and there's, like, spinning blades. It's not the best scene from that book. It's really dumb. But it looks like they've incorporated that concept with maybe Bonnie. I'm trying to judge from the facial structure who this is. I'm thinking it could be someone else. Maybe it's like the endoskeleton in Parts and Service that has been kind of like, you know, the endoskeleton that isn't wearing a costume. But yeah, Mike's, you know, trapped here. And again, this animatronic's clearly been weaponized. There's like, it's one of those, it's like with Sister Location, where all the animatronic designs, it's like, with all due respect, Mr. Afton, those are not the design choices we were curious about. And it's like, there are weird design choices that Afton's been kind of like hiding in his animatronics. We've also got a silhouette of Foxy here. This is some kind of corridor that probably comes off the Pirates Cove stage, but that is very clearly Foxy. Again, they've done the same thing with FNAF Plus, and they haven't given us a clear look at Foxy yet, which is pretty exciting. There's this kid here. I have no idea who this is. The theorists are probably going to find some obscure girl wearing pink with short dark hair in one of the minigames probably, but nothing immediately comes to mind for me. Maybe she's like a ghost of one of the missing children, but I don't know why she would be here and now. Maybe this is just like an original character, honestly. I would be down for original characters. Hell, maybe this is like Charlotte, but it's like in this universe, she's younger because she was born at a different time. She's not even like Henry Emily's daughter. She's just this other character completely. I don't know. There's so many ways this could go. But then we've got this, and I love this. This is eerie. You've got Freddy here in the main stage, curtains open, and he's just standing there. And that alone is creepy, right? Just big brown bear just staring at you. But then his eyes light up red, and because his eyes are blue, there's this weird mottled green look with the irises, and it just, they've clearly done this to make them look like human eyeballs. If you look at the coloration with the red, the lighting makes them look like fleshy human eyeballs, which is really, like, it's one of those uncanny things that, like, is clearly intentional, but in universe you can kind of explain as unintentional. I don't know. That could be pretty creepy. I'm looking forward to that. I have no idea who this is. Now, 5 children. What's this all about? That's Mike there. I'm imagining, honestly, this probably isn't real. This is probably the flip side from FNAF 3, you know, the Happiest Day minigames. This is going to be like, you know, the FNAF world, different layer of reality, It was in Fazbear Frights as well. And the novel trilogy. Carlton went to the flip side when he got injected by Remnant by Afton, and he went and basically did Happiest Day all by himself. Absolute fucking king. He carried that book. But yeah, there's 5 children here in probably kind of like dreamscape kind of thing where Michael's kind of, you know, having a vision or something supernatural, something paranormal. They're in a forest for some reason. It looks like it's sunset. And again, you can see the 5 kids are all dressed a certain way. One of them's wearing rabbit ears, one of them's got a top hat, one of them's in orange. There's a little girl with like yellow, and then there's this blonde kid at the front. So, Golden Freddy is in this movie. Golden Freddy is 100% in this movie, or at least they're going to do something with the fifth child. Unless they were to, Scott was to do something really crazy and kind of switch things around again and have like the puppet be like the 5th kid. Well, Golden Freddy's probably in this movie, and these are like the 5 missing children, the OG, you know, what were their names? Gabriel, Jeremy, Fritz, Susie, and Cassidy? Again, will he even use the same names? Don't know, but that's interesting, how they're running away, and maybe he has to, like, gather them or something. Or maybe it's like a warning, it's like a symbolic thing, I don't know, it's weird. Now, this guy, I believe, is William Afton. I don't remember any of the actors' names, but apparently this is William Afton, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if I had to guess, I don't know who else, unless maybe, like, Henry. But yeah, it's interesting, he's in some kind of office here. This doesn't look like it's even in Freddy's, to be honest. Although it could be. And again, I wonder, is the tie he's wearing purple? It's a very dark, so it's hard to tell. But there's no obvious sense, oh, it's purple guy, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know. Interesting look with the glasses and everything. Then we've got Mike on the ground here, looking at something above him. There's some kind of police officer. I have no idea who this is. I wonder if they're going to go... I'm not sure what's going on here, but I wonder if they're going to go a Silverized route again, where they have a police officer who gets killed. And it's like... Because it's often a fallacy in a lot of horror movies. It's like, oh, why don't you just call for the police? Why don't you just call for help, idiot? And it's like, maybe Scott's written a situation where, okay, they do call the police... and nothing happens because it gets like slaughtered by the animatronics, and it's like increases the stakes are truly on their own. Maybe this is like, you know, halfway through the movie they one of the animatronics is about to get him. I don't know. And again, it's like, you know, probably like a local county, you know, officer who's, you know, only seen like basic rural crimes, just isn't prepared for a situation like this too. I don't know. I don't know who this character is. Those feet. Now, this is going to sound a bit weird out of context, but I have spent years and years looking at FNAF fan art. I know those feet immediately. That right there, those are the Foxy feet. Don't believe me? Look up a render right now. Excuse me. But jokes aside, yeah, no, those are Foxy's feet. And he's crushing a bull pit bull, so he's, you know, clearly aggressive, hunting this kid again in the bull pit, which says to me she's not one of the missing children, I don't think. I don't think she's like a ghost or a spirit thing. This is like an actual kid. Who maybe, the reason Mike is here has something to do with her. Maybe this is like... maybe it's Elizabeth Afton, his younger sister, if they're doing the Afton family, or maybe this is just some original character. Maybe it's like Charlie and the puppet isn't a thing in this universe. But yeah, she's hiding from Foxy there. That is Foxy, you can tell from the snout and the red. And man, I like the little glimpse we've got. You can see his jaw as well. Very exciting. What a tense scene. We've also got some shots of the animatronics here with their red eyes. Not sure what that's about. It seems a bit cliche, kind of like the novel trilogy covers. But it is interesting to just see, like, man, FNAF is real. FNAF is friggin'... it's real. Look at that. I'm so impressed with the work they actually did to, like, build the animatronics and have them be animated and give them the kind of, you know, like, appearance that they should. Although, I gotta be honest, I feel like the red eyes and, like, the positioning of the eyelids and the eyebrows is just kind of a bit obvious. It's a bit cheesy. I feel like it would be much scarier if they had that kind of blank stare like they did in the games. I feel like there's a lot of subtlety which might have been missed out on if that's, like, how they're gonna look for, like, most of the movie, which would honestly be a bit of a shame, because I feel like with the right kind of, like, direction and lighting and stuff, you could make this look a whole lot more scary. See this on the left? I feel like this is actually almost scarier. I don't know. But, I mean, to be fair, color is great, you know, great for symbolism, that kind of thing, and... you know, I'm not a movie maker, but it's going to be really interesting to see how they've done this. But yeah, we didn't really get a look at Chica, unfortunately. But yeah, October 27th, it's happening, guys. The FNAF movie is real. And I don't know if there's going to be any more trailers, but, like, I'm really excited to see kind of, you know, what's going to happen. And I might do some kind of prediction stream or video of some kind. But yeah, I'm just going to end this off looking at the comments. The community deserves what they've been waiting for all these years. Yeah, bad movie. It needs to be good. I hope it's good. Oh, we need faith, Arthur! This is a large score. That's the last thing I want to talk about, actually. As a lifelong FNAF fan, I can't wait for this. Technically not, but yeah, lifelong, yeah, I get that. It's been a long time. But yeah, this comment really sums it up for me. Like, it's legit insane that it's actually happening soon, and like it's real. After 8 years, yes, Raz, it's finally time to be ready for Freddy. It is finally time. I can't pronounce this fucking username. You're ready for Freddy. This is the best thing happened to Game Cuisine in a long time. Let's go! Again, I fully understand that initial hype, but when you've been in the FNAF fandom as long as I have, you learn to kind of restrain yourself when it comes to these kind of things, because I'm gonna be real with you guys, okay? This is the last thing I really wanted to talk about. A few years ago, you would have seen me saying this kind of thing with, like, any good announcement, okay? When I'm hyped for something, I am properly hyped, and I get really excited. But with this, even though this is a really impressive trailer on its own, and it should absolutely have me, like, jumping out of my seat, I mean, that didn't happen with a Security Breach either. The first Security Breach trailer from February 2021, quite frankly, was the last time I was super hyped about anything FNAF related. Maybe excluding fan games. But, like, I want to think about that last comment and talk about expectations for a minute, because at the end of the day, guys, this is, you know, we don't know quite what this movie's going to be like, or the experience is going to be like, or how it's going to hold up critically, or what elements it's going to include from the game, or whatever. At the end of the day, it's, you know, we've got hints, right? But I think we need to understand that the higher our expectations are for this, the more risk there is of disappointment. And I don't know if I already said this, but considering how the quality of the games has, you know, been enough to divide the fandom, considering how only a few people read the books, and most of it is just convoluted lore nonsense, which is very hit or miss. Don't get me wrong, there are some amazing books, even in Tales from what I've heard, but some of them, I mean, I've read Frights, half of those were just garbage. But thirdly, you know, the Fazbear Fanverse Initiative has had, like, no marketing, no advertising. Those games are also progressing really slowly. There's, like, nothing... I mean, you know, they've released, like, filler games in the meantime, like My Pop Goes, which is totally valid, but, like, you know, they're really not, you know, that active right now, which means, I don't think it's a small exaggeration to say, the FNAF movie might be carrying the FNAF franchise for the next couple years. Like, this might make or break how well this franchise does, because not only is it, you know, the biggest, most ambitious, most expensive, high-budget project ever created with this IP, officially, but also, this is FNAF's biggest step into the mainstream. It originated from a very niche subgenre of a genre of a medium, you know, survival horror gaming, you know, that only a few people were even interested in, never mind, actually enjoyed FNAF specifically. And, you know, we've had AAA games, kind of like Scooter Beach, and, you know, I mean, it was published by, like, Sony, wasn't it? Doesn't that count? And, you know, we've had Help Wanted, which got it a lot more attention in the public light, but, like, the movie is going beyond video games. Still horror, but, like, beyond video games into video game movies. That is a huge step up to mainstream media. This is going to get way more attention than any previous FNAF project. I feel like this movie is probably going to be seen or heard of by more people outside the fandom than ever before. It's going to absolutely, you know, skyrocket past Help Wanted or Sister Location or even Scooter Beach. Which I think, which is why I think it's really important that we just go in with an open mind and kind of a you know, a neutral perspective, because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I hyped myself up for this movie, I feel like I'd be setting myself up for the same disappointment I did with Security Breach, honestly. I don't know what to expect from this movie, and I have faith that Scott is a good writer. I have faith that Blumhouse is respectable to him, to the community, and vice versa, and all that. And, you know, that there's a lot of talent that went into this. But I don't know. The movie will probably be amazing, but we don't know that. So yeah, I don't know. I really hope this movie is good. I really hope this movie is good. Because if it isn't, that's gonna suck. After all these years. But again, all those preconceived notions. I don't know, I'm gonna stop talking. Guys, that's the end. This went on a bit longer than I intended it to, but hey, didn't we have fun? I don't know. I'm excited. This movie... Well, I'm gonna go see it on the day it releases. I'm gonna be definitely going in cinema to see it. But that's all for now, so thank you so much for watching. And, yeah, stay hydrated.